And today we are speaking about our men. And our life topic today is about men's feelings. And we're saying men's feelings matter. And we're actually taking a look at the rise of suicide in men. And I think when I was growing up, I'll not speak about me as a person, but I've had my aunties, I've had neighbors telling their children, we kijana, kwa nini unalia? Vijana wafai kulia. And I think men have grown up with that mentality that they're not supposed to cry, that they're not supposed to look like they're weak, they're not supposed to weep, they're not supposed to look like they're struggling. And because of that, most of them bottle up so many things. And by the time inafika mahali they are committing suicide, it's because they have no outlet. They don't want to, talk to someone. They don't feel like they can sit down and open up, because society says men should be tough. Society says men should not cry. Society says men should put up a face even when everything looks like is crashing or crumbling around them. And I think it's very important that we discuss this, because we might not have brothers, but we have husbands. We have sons who are growing up and tomorrow they'll become men. We have brothers maybe here on a Chatspot show. Maybe we have brothers who are growing up or who are grown up, but they are not opening up because they have, they're afraid of the society judging them. So I don't know whether you guys have an opinion on this, because it's an issue.
Because I think that's not talking, the suppressing of your emotions, suppressing of your inner feelings, because unataka kuonekana wewe ni ndume, sometimes it doesn't help. Because I think that's where, like, unapata most of the time people get to a point where you just overreact in a situation that you could have probably handled it differently. So I think it's just talk. Yeah. As in, if you're hurt, say I'm hurt. If you're heartbroken, say I'm heartbroken. We understand. It happens to everyone.
I did want to quote a statistic because I read this and it was so worrying, because it says that the figures are worrying, and they say that in Kenya it's a real crisis. Now, there's been a report from the Kenya Ministry of Health that says that 4 people die of suicide every day in our country.
Wow.
Now, according to the World Health Organization, Kenya is not the only African country that is struggling. There's others, but they say that there's more than 15 suicides per 100,000 inhabitants per year, and this comes mostly from men. That's shocking. I read this, it's an article from DW. I read it yesterday and I was so shocked, because those are we're using stats here. We're not talking about just things that we hear them every day. But those statistics are just so worrying. And they say that part of the reason, as you've just said, is that there's a lot of social change, and our culture does make men sadly be in more of a position of frustration when a lot of things happen in their lives and they have nobody to speak to. There's nobody who can be there for them. So, we're not just talking right now, but we're talking stats.
Yeah,
this is just, it was very shocking for me to read, which is why I wanted to share, because, we really should talk more about it. And, our show, for example, I know that we also do have a male audience. Yeah. I think we really should do a lot more to reach out to men and just to listen to men issues, because men are actually afraid to talk about them.
But I think at some point, in most cases, our society states the man is the head of the family. The man is the provider. The man is the ukitaka anything yendo anafai kufanya. So I think that mentality that people have is actually driving men crazy. Because at the end of the day, you're like, maybe I'm not making enough to support all, to just cater for all of your needs, but all of you are still like, where I want. So I think hata kama ma girl child, mnafai like support, like regardless of yes, the man is the head of the family, but if you can do something, saying in it to vitu ndogo ndogo, like just helping out, sorting out some bills, if you can, it goes a long way. Because at least your attention, because mwanaume atakwambia ati financially I'm struggling, unajua hataki kuonekana your struggle, then that's just keeping it to yourself, you get agitated, you start just becoming depressed, then one thing just leads to another thing. So if girls, tongeni, like when I'm saying, just try to talk to the men around you, like your family, not at ile men, but the brothers, uncles, fathers, cousins. Just try and talk to them and see whether they're okay, whether they are like they're just doing well. Just check up on them.
Yeah, because the men never have an outlet. Even though they are chilling men to men, they do not talk like us. Us, we might not be friends, but once we meet, somehow a topic will come up and we will discuss that topic, and I'll tell you what I'm going through, like that. But men, they don't have that. So there's always good to, either you're a sister, you're a wife, you're a fiance, you're a girlfriend, always have an outlet for the man, if I may put it like that. Because you see, women, we tend to take this man as someone who I can give all my stuff to, but I'm not expecting anything from you. Like, I don't want you to come tell me. But then, when someone hurts you at work, sijui mtu akakutia vibaya. But when it comes to be the other way around, you're busy with the child, you're busy with cooking. Sometimes it's just good to unwind. It's either even your brothers, actually, me, I have 2 brothers, and I actually, when it comes to think of it, I never have time to sit down with them and tell them, okay, let's talk. And this is a learning process. We need to also create time, not only for our husbands, boyfriends, fiancés, even our siblings. Let's just have a sit down with them. Tell us, tell me your struggles, especially the ones in high school, because that's how problems start. They start when they're in high school, they're in primary. And if we have a sit down with them and tell them, oh, okay, and then you also share your experience out of life, because they're saying, okay, me, I'm in school, you're having a good life out. So it's like, boss, there's this, and so as a man, you need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
And I think as mothers, the boys we are raising now, we should raise men who are confident. We should start, instilling confidence in them. As mothers, if you have a son, sit down with your son. Let him open up as young as he is, even if he's 4, 3, or even 5. Let them learn to trust you instead of fearing you. That is the only way they can be able to grow up trusting in women and being able to open up eventually.
I also think they need to understand that it's okay to not
cry.
be okay. It's okay to cry. It doesn't matter whether you're a man, you're a boy, you're whatever you are. It doesn't matter. If you look down, like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It happens to, like, most of us, and it's life. Like, there's nothing, hakuna ticket, like, hakuna surprise hapo. So if you want to cry,
we actually love men who can cry.
We actually love men who actually like talk and express their feelings, and like, you know what, by that I'm hurt, but then this is what happened. See you, mama, by the way. It is okay. We'll be here to listen.
There's somebody who has just wrapped it up for us. Steve Kiaho from Facebook says, looking great, guys. And then he says, we go, as men, we go through a lot, but we have to overlook the issues knowing that we're men and nobody listens, nobody believes. Thanks for addressing the issue. Girl child, kindly listen to us and be our friends. Wow. That is very nice of him to have said, because Jackie just said it, is that men actually maybe do need a friend. They do need sometimes for you to listen. And even us as women towards your men, sometimes just try to be a friend before anything, because there's a lot of relationship issues. And you just forget to actually be a friend. Like, babe, how are you doing? How was your day? Is there anything stressing you out?
Did anyone bully you or troll you today?
I think that's so important. But Kenny who has a typical mindset, said, men are raised in a way to show that crying is the last thing you can do. That as a man, if you happen to cry and you'll be asked in Swahili, he says, have you not been circumcised? Initiation marks the end of men to cry. And that's the problem with African society.
I think it's a tradition to we dismiss, because we just have to move on with the 21st century. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back with our guest who's in studio, so don't touch that dial.